Hello everyone. In this short talk, I will talk about the future of the Middle East and the possibilities of wars in the Middle East. Nowadays, the prospects for conflicts and even large-scale wars in the Middle East are on the rise for different reasons. On the one hand, various actors, states now pose serious and sometimes existential threats to one another. On the other hand, the dynamic of security dilemma and intense security competition have grown so entangled that one side's survival and security can only be ensured and achieved at the expense of the others. This situation inevitably heightens the chances of war among these states and parties, including different states like Turkey, Iran, Israel, Lebanon, Iraq. The current geopolitical realignments in the Middle East provide clear evidence that the conflicts are on the rise or maybe even large-scale wars. Several critical flashpoints illustrate this trend. First of all, a significant shift has occurred in the relationship between Turkey and Israel. For the first time ever since the Ottoman Empire's dissolution and Israel's founding in 1948, the two nations now perceive each other as genuine strategic threats. This is primarily due to a fundamental clash of interests in Syria. Israel's objectives of fostering a fragmented, demilitarized, weak Syrian state, potentially reliant on creating Kurdish and Druze states, directly contravenes Turkey's national security priorities, which include at least maintaining Syria's sovereignty as one entity. Turkey will inevitably counter these perceived threats, meaning their ongoing conflict and maybe even indirect war on Syria's soil could easily escalate into a direct confrontation. Second, the demands being placed on Hezbollah, articulated by Israel and its unwavering ally, the US, are a recipe for another conflict, a call for the group's unilateral disarmament and surrender is unacceptable to Hezbollah, making another devastating Israel-Hezbollah war highly probable. Furthermore, should the Lebanese government be pressured to enforce these demands internally, this could fracture the country and ignite a new civil war in Lebanon. Regarding the situation in Iraq, a parallel dynamic is unfolding in Iraq as well. The US-Israel demands for the complete dismantling for Iran-aligned Shia militias, particularly popular mobilization forces, will be met with forceful resistance. This would likely trigger a cycle of attacks from US and Israel on these militia and retaliatory strikes, plunging Iraq into a greater chaos with several destabilizing consequences for the entire region. Finally, regarding Iran and Israel, although the 12th war were ended, but the two nations are at war. The continuous war. Both nations are actively preparing for a future confrontation, the scale of which would have profound and far-reaching repercussions across the whole Middle East. Thus, without shared security objectives in the Middle East, achieving enduring peace in the Middle East remains highly unlikely. Even if peace is established, it will be fragile and short-lived, with the constant risk of renewed conflict at any moment.